Good morning and welcome to Daily Devotions with Pastor Joe. I'm Pastor Joe, and this is the book of Proverbs, chapter 10, verses 1 through 4 that we're going to be looking at. There's plenty more in this proverb that we could look at on this beautiful Lord's Day, but we'll just look at a few verses as we begin the day to focus a little bit about this morning. Proverbs 10:1 says, "The Proverbs of Solomon, a wise son maketh a glad father, but a foolish son is the heaviness of his mother. Treasures of wickedness profit nothing, but righteousness delivereth from death. The Lord will not suffer the soul of the righteous to famish, but he casteth away the substance of the wicked. He becometh poor that dealeth with the slack hand, but the hand of the diligent maketh rich." And we can continue on, and let's go ahead and do so. Verse 5, "He that gathereth in the summer is a wise son, but he that sleepeth in the harvest is a son that causeth shame." And that's where we'll stop. So the first 5 verses of this proverb are very good and wise advice given by a man who was known as the wisest man of all of history. As we know, Solomon asked God for wisdom to lead his people in wisdom because he said, money is great and strength is great and all these other things are wonderful, but wisdom is what I need to lead these people for God. And so he said, "Give me wisdom." And God gave him wisdom and more than just wisdom. He gave him the other things that he desired in his heart as well. But as he says here, a wise son makes a glad father, a foolish son is the heaviness of his mother. And that is never untrue. A father is very thankful to see his son and say, "Wow, that's my boy. Look at him. He's being so wise. He's using his money frugally." As of course, the next several verses are talking more about money and discipline and being a disciplined individual. And so, especially in the realms of money, but just in everything that they do, when you see your son or anybody who you've been a major mentor in their life, and you see them being wise and following good, godly advice and listening to what the Bible has to say, it is a very glad feeling that you get in your soul and in your heart for that moment. But a foolish son is the heaviness of his mother, the very thing that makes his mother's heart sink and saddened. And that's absolutely true. I've seen so many who have gone one way or another, sons and daughters both, who the mother ends up saying, "Oh, I wish they would have taken a better path. I wish they would have gone God's way. I wish they would have stayed in church," or whatever it might be. And the foolishness of their choices was very heavy on the mother's heart. Now, the father, of course, feels it as well, but just for some reason, I don't think it's necessarily excluding fathers out of this either. I think it's for literary purposes that it's the father and the mother, comparing and contrasting the two. He wanted to compare and contrast the two, one with a father, one with a mother, but it does seem to affect the mother more powerfully, more difficult. It's more difficult for her and more heavy for her heart to take whenever she sees her child doing what they ought not to do. The father is disappointed. The mother is heartbroken. You understand. Verse 2, "The treasures of wickedness profit nothing, but righteousness delivereth from death." That's absolutely true. In the end of time, when we all leave this world, nothing that we've made, no profit that we've gleaned, no matter how we've gleaned it, will be worth anything. And so a profit from wickedness, as he's saying, treasures of the wickedness profit nothing. So getting great treasures from being wicked and living a sinful life, and from wickedness, climbing to the top of the ladder by shoving other people down or by hurting others, it doesn't profit anything in the end. It might, in the short term, tend to seem to gain something, but in the end of life, it's worthless. But righteousness delivers from death. And if you really want to know the way to escape eternal death, especially, living right in God's eyes is the way to go. Follow God, and He'll never let you down in that respect. He'll make you eternal life that you can have once you leave this world to live in heaven. Oh, the Lord will not suffer the soul of the righteous to famish, but He casteth away the substance of the wicked. The soul of the righteous will not perish. The soul. Now, I can't necessarily say that I've never seen a righteous person be hungry and even starve to death or come close to it at least. But I can say that as long as you are seeking God, God will continue to feed your soul and to be there with you, even through the toughest of times, even all the way unto death, unto the ends of the earth. But he that casteth away the substance, he casteth away the substance of the wicked. The very substance, the very things that they have and put their hope in, are dashed and destroyed before their face. It's a shame when you see people who've built their lives up in tremendous ways, and then everything is just dashed on the rocks. I can't help but think of all the stories we've heard about Michael Avenatti, and I sure hope he's not guilty of all the things he's being accused of, but it's so sad to see the life and the law firm empire that he built just completely being ripped apart and shattered by so many things. And unfortunately, that's what happens in the world today. If you aren't focused on living for God, God can in a moment make a fool of you and shatter your entire substance, everything that you've had. And in some cases, God does that in a way to try and help you to come to a humbling point. In other cases, he just does it because he's done putting up with what you've put out. He becometh poor that dealeth with a slack hand, but the hand of the diligent maketh rich. Becomes poor that deals with a slack hand. Lazy people aren't going to make it very far in life. You've got to be diligent. You've got to be disciplined. You've got to be focused. You've got to be dependable. You've got to do whatever it takes to step up to the plate and do your best. If you want to make it anywhere in life, the hand of the diligent makes rich. Sometimes it makes a lot of other people rich before it ever makes you rich, but your diligence is the key to all the wealth and riches of this world, as well as eternal riches. Because living a diligent life, living a life that's disciplined and focused and dependable, craving God, trying to run the race and to win in first place, that's the soul that is going to make it through. And so you want to have riches on earth or in eternity, deal with a diligent hand, not with a slack hand. Don't be lazy. Don't say, oh, I don't have to put out too much effort. I don't have to. Yeah, you don't have to, but you should. He that gathereth in summer is a wise son. He that sleepeth in the harvest is a son that causeth shame. Once again, right back to that first verse. Pulling all of these together in the same way, trying to get you into the idea of the focus, that wisdom makes the father glad of the son. Foolishness makes the mother oh so weary of the son. The diligence is a piece of wisdom that he's trying to teach here. Diligence. And, of course, righteousness and diligence. So living right, doing what you ought to do, and living in a diligent way, gathering in the summer, doing your best to proactively step up and do whatever needs to be done is wisdom. But he that sleeps in the harvest, the person who's lazy, slothful, and doesn't do their duty and their due diligence in things, they are a son or a child that causes shame. Or in other words, they are a shame. They are shameful that live their life lazy. Don't live lazy. Live diligent. Live with wisdom. Work your life out in a way that at the end of it, God can say, well done. That's the way to live. Anyway, I hope you have a great day in the Lord today. God bless. Get to church today. I'm sure you're going to, but get to church today. And if you've already been there by the time you watch this video, I hope you had a good service. And I hope you just have a great day in the Lord today. God bless. I'll see you again later on another daily devotion with Pastor Joe.